it's Brenda and welcome back to another video in SugarPinkDIY, and in today's video we'll be making some cute titles for your notes, so don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss any of my videos. And without further ado, let's go on to the video.
Alrighty guys, so for the first title, make this banner with two wavy lines and with pointy ends just like this. Start coloring it in, and then with your darker green, make kind of like a shading. With your black pen, start writing your title. For this case, I wrote it in Spanish, so it's Ciencias Naturales. So if you want to do it in English, then you would write right here. You would write natural, and on the bottom with the marker, you would write sciences. And for the bottom letters, I took my marker, my green marker from Crayola, and I wrote natural, like naturales in Spanish, and then at the ends of every letter I did like these small details, so small circles. With my Stabilo pen from Stabilo, as I said, all green, I outlined every letter just to make them pretty. And with my white Milky Pop gel pen, I added some highlights on every letter as well as on the banner. You could do small dots or small lines just to add like the light or the highlight if you want. Just to decorate, I took my mild liner from Zebra and underlined the letters. With my green Papermate pen, I just did like the shadow on every letter, and with my mild liner, the pink one, which I really like, I ended up doing like these small circles on each end, and then just to make them look like flowers, I added some leaves and outlined them with my Stabilo pen. This is just an idea because you can basically use flashcards for anything. So for this case, I'm using them for my schedule, my school schedule. So for example, on Tuesday, I have natural sciences. So then I write Tuesday, and then underneath it, I am gonna write the time that I have natural sciences. In this case is 11 a.m. So I wrote it with my Stabilo highlighter, and then I went and like rewrote it on top of that with my Papermate pen, the blue one. For the second title, I wanted to do like a gradient, but totally different from the ones that we've done already in this channel. So I did one letter in pink and one letter in yellow, and as you can see right in the middle, like right in between the letters, it turned kind of like orange. So then I went over with my orange marker and I colored on top of that just to merge the colors together. And I also used like my pink, and then I also used my yellow one to merge all the colors together and create a beautiful gradient. At the end, I felt like my M needed a little bit of gradient right at the end, like where that curl is, so I used my orange marker to do like gradient there, and then I applied the yellow to merge the colors together. Since I felt like my letters needed like a pop or like be more bright or more visible, I added a shadow with my black pen, and then I took my white Milky Pop gel pen and I did kind of like a highlight on every letter, and with my Stabilo pen, the pink one, and with my black pen, I did some like diamonds just to decorate my letters. And I took this pen which has a bunch of glitter and I love it. And I just decorated my letters with a bunch of glitter, so I added 3 small dots on every letter just to give it more, just to make them more pretty. And then I ended up also making like a second shadow with this glittery pen, and I feel like this just gave it more color and made it more pretty. And since it's chemistry or química in Spanish, I decided to do like this small drawing on the side just to make them more fun and less boring to look at. So I did this test tubes, like a big one and a small one, and for the big one I just drew like this and made it kind of like a small line inside with a bunch of little lines. And for the top one, I divided it and colored one half in yellow, as well as I colored the drop in yellow just to make them pretty. And then on the bottom one, I added the pink way underneath, and then I took my orange and colored the second part, so like the top part. And with my pink, the darker pink, I went and blended the colors together just to make the gradient. In this way, the drawing and my letters look kind of similar. For the schedule time and like the date, I added Monday, or in Spanish is lunes, and then I added the time with my marker, and then with my Papermate pen, I went over and wrote above it. With my Stabilo pen, I just went and added these small details. And moving on to the third title, I went in with my blue marker, the lightest blue that I was able to find from Crayola, and I wrote my title. In this case is mate, or math in English for short. You could have also written like mathematics or matemáticas in Spanish, but math was so much easier and so much faster. So then I made my title in like chubby letters, or like bubble letters if you want to call them that way. Once my letters were all done, I went in with my dark blue and outlined all the letters completely just to make sure that my title was popping and fun to look at. And then I took my light blue and blended the colors together just to make kind of like gradient on the edge only. Then I took my black pen and kind of like started outlining them, not completely from the outside, but like I outlined them like on top, and then I went all the way on the bottom, so like I went out of range, if you want to say it that way. I don't know how to explain. It's really complicated to explain this part, but just try to make them look like this. And I really like how it turned out. I feel like they look kind of like in 3D. Now with my glittery pen, I went in and outlined the letters completely, this time from the outside. And this just made my letters more pretty and more cute. And I feel like the glitter part just added kind of like a shine to them. And then I wrote the second part of my title, so algebra with normal letters, with my mailed liner, the blue one, and then I went in and like wrote above them with my blue paper mate pen. To decorate my title and flashcard, I decided to do like some squares with a mild liner. I love this marker not only because it's pink, but because it's like a light pink or a neon pink, and I like how it looks. And then with that same marker, I just went in on one side and like colored above it just to make kind of like a shadow. And then I went in with my Stabilo pen and drew or made my outline above and underneath, so I went out of range or like out of place. And once this was done, I took my black pen, a gel pen that I had. You could use any pen that you have, and then I went in and did like the symbols for math, so like the most basic ones, which is adding, multiplication, and division, and lastly subtraction. To continue with the idea of using these flashcards for your schedules, I went in and wrote the word Wednesday in Spanish, which is miércoles, and then I wrote the date, or no, not the date, but like the time at when I'm supposed to have like math. And so I went in with my mild liner and wrote the word and the number, and then with my Stabilo pen I just went in and colored or wrote above that letter, and then I just colored the number 10. For the fourth title, I used my yellow marker just to write my title. So in this case, the title that I'm writing is Español or Spanish in English. And so I decided to make them kind of like bubbly and super bold because yellow is not super bright on white, so it's not too visible. So I just wanted to make sure that it was pretty visible and super cute, so I just made them kind of like chubby and bold, if you want to call them that way. And then once my title was done, I went in with this marker that I have, which is like two sides, so this side is thicker and this side is thinner. So then I just outlined all my letters completely. Then with that same side, I did some details on every letter, so like little lines on all around the letter to make them look like they're sewn onto the page or like the flashcard. This also looks like light bulbs all around the letters if you look at it the same way that I'm looking at it right now. And then I just went in with my Stabilo pen, the black one, and did like kind of like the outline, but not completely like on the letter, but way far away from the letter, kind of like this, to make them look like a sign or a bubble surrounding the letters. And once this was done, I took my orange marker that I was using for the lines, but this time I'm using like the thicker side just to make another outline, this time only on the bottom though. And then I just went in and colored it completely just to make it look like a shadow. I love these markers, not only because they're super colorful and super cute, but since they're double-sided, I can use them for a bunch of things. So I got them, actually one of my friends gave them to me since she knows that I love lettering and I love like the bubble letters and different designs. I think she got them from Amazon. I'm gonna try to look them up and then I'll leave it in the description if I can. Otherwise, I'll try to make a video about them. And then I continued and wrote the date, so in this case it's Jueves or Thursday in English, and I wrote the time as well, so 12 p.m. To do this, I used my mini Stabilo Boss highlighter, the mint one, and then I went in with my blue marker or like an aqua marker, and I wrote on top of it just to make it more detailed and more pretty to look at. And last but not least, the last title, so in this case is social studies, so in Spanish it would be estudios sociales. So for the first part, I did it in cursive. This is not lettering. You could make it into like fake lettering if you wanted to. Just make the downstroke like a little wider or add more of that marker, and then add a little heart just to decorate it. With my purple Papermate pen, I just went in and like wrote above my marker just to make them look more popping and more pretty, as well as I colored the heart or just outlined the heart. For the second part of the title, so for studies, I did my letters in capital letters and in bold, so I used my marker as well to make them more visible and more thicker. So I wrote them completely with my marker, and then I took my Papermate pen, the same pen that I use for social, and I outlined them completely, and I feel like this just made my letters more visible and more popping, and I don't know, I really like how it turned out. For some reason, I find this process relaxing, just outlining my letters and making sure that they look pretty and visible. To continue decorating my title, I took my mini Stabilo boss, this time the mint one, and I did like these parentheses or half circles, and with my marker like this aqua, I did like a line above it, and then I decorated with some leaves just to make them look like tree leaves or like tree branches, without the brown of course. And then I did this, and then to continue decorating and to make it look more pretty, I added more of these curls, as well as I lined them up or like made the stroke with that aqua that I used. And just to make them more colorful or more pretty, I added some dots with this Stabilo pen, like the pink one that I've always used since I love pink. And then I did like these drops underneath, so like half drops, and then some dots to make them look like flowers. And this was done. For the next part, which is like the date and the time that I have this class, I wrote the word viernes or Friday in English, as well as the time in all yellow. Since I felt like it needed more color, I took my pink Stabilo pen, and then I did kind of like a shadow on every single letter, and of course as well as on the numbers. Since I feel like it wasn't really visible, I went in with my black Stabilo pen, and then I just wrote on top of every letter in yellow, and I like how this turned out. I feel like it's more visible or more popping. Then I just used a pin to put it on my bulletin board that I think I did it on the previous video. So I'll leave a link in the description box down below, and as well as on this right hand corner of the video.
Alright guys, and this was it for today's idea. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss any of my videos. And see you this Tuesday for another idea. Bye guys!